Okay, continuing from where we start, you should understand that while we were talking about, we mentioned the nascent society. It is important you know that the transition from the nascent society into the civil society was as a result of the introduction of the laws, like we earlier mentioned. But there was something I forgot to tell you, and something that is very important for you to know, so that you would understand that hoping the masses relaxed skin and hoping that the political leaders or the leaders would somewhat, some way, out of the blue, now develop goodwill, compassion, and good heart for the common good of the masses is not a wise decision. This is why you see that for over 64 years, this has not happened. And I don't think this is happening anytime soon. And this is why. Do you know that in the nascent society and the civil society. At this place, man was here, but there was no laws. There was no enforceable criteria to decide what was right or what was wrong. And moving to the civil society, the laws were introduced. Here, what was right and what was wrong was determined, or is still determined, based on the law. And the law, which is the formulation of the general will of the masses. So there is something that was happening here. Why in the nascent society life was short, nasty, and brutal, as Thomas Hobbes and the social contract theorists persist, as a result of the greed and envy that was coming out of the minds of the individual as regards to what they could have, what they could desire but not have, and see other people achieving it. You understand? Out of jealousy, individuals now started becoming bad. You understand? So in this nascent society that nothing was good, life was short, nasty, and brutal. I want to let you guys understand that at this level, individuals were still capable of sentimental virtues or emotions such as goodwill, good heart, love, and compassion to relate with one another, to be a defining factor as they related with one another in order to achieve common good for the society. This is the nascent society, a state of nature where life was not pleasurable. Man could not live here without laws, but with the ability to love, man could still not have result of order, peace, growth, harmony, and security. Understand? This place, this is to tell you that man could not by himself, without the law, develop goodwill or virtues. As now in the contemporary society, I find people relaxing, folding their legs, going to pray that the political leaders should change their heart so that they will now begin to rule in the interest of the people. You understand? I made a video one time. I was telling the people or my African brothers that forget about praying that God is coming down to answer or fight corruption the way we expect Him to pray, to come and fight it. Rather, we should pray for wisdom on how to understand what it will take for us to resolve the issue of corruption. So note that goodwill, good heart, and love, compassion of the individual could not keep the nascent society in peace, order, security to ensure growth and development. This is why they now moved to a civil society under the governance and dictate of the law. You understand? So, as I was telling you, the discussion about the law is so deep. We could keep going, going, going. But this is what is going to happen. We're going to be moving forward, but it does not mean that we'll not be coming back to the law because from the beginning to the end, it is the law. From beginning to the end, it is just systems. So, I want Nigerians to now know that it is wise to not just bank on the goodwill of the political leaders in order to attain growth and development. I don't think the equation, if there is goodwill in it, it does not occupy a position more than 50%. The rest of it is based on laws and systems. You get, just like if you want to travel to Abuja, you already have the will. You've made the decision. You understand? Assuming it was a country, we'll say that it's a policy. But to the individual, say you've decided to go to Abuja. After making this will, after having or developing this will, you still need a system that is going to take you to Abuja. Is either you fly to Abuja with a plane, which is another system, a mechanical system, or you use a car, which is another mechanical system that is built on conditional statement, that is built on laws. You understand? And when I mention system, Most people are confused. They begin to say, what do you mean by system? System is just those laws that are put in place in specific design to achieve a purpose. You understand? So there is, when they call system, when they say weak institutions, or when they say weak systems, you should know that it is weak laws. It is more nothing more than that. Okay? So I'm saying that for my African brothers to think that coming out for a protest, right, and changing the political leaders that are in power, that are already in the time of their affair, is not enough, because it is typical of all individuals to be more selfish, more intrusive than altruistic. The individual is always pursuing his gain. In fact, there are some points I argue that every individual is selfish. It only matters if the reason why he's doing what he wants to do is comfortable or accepted by a larger number of people. We now say this person is a good person. But even the bad man is doing what he wants to do. The selfish individual is doing what he wants to do. The selfless person is still doing what he wants to do. The difference is this one is benefiting more people, not just himself. This one is benefiting very little people, maybe just his cycle or just himself. You understand? So going to the discussion of the individual, I know that Africans were very, very impatient. So going down the discussion, like I wanted to approach the issue, was going to take a longer time, and I know that you people are very impatient to follow up discussions, especially discussions that you have not been looking at it in that manner. So I want Africans to know that changing the leadership is not going to be enough, because when you change the leadership, you put in other individuals who, if they have unchecked power, at the end of the day, they are still going to be corrupt, and that power is going to corrupt them absolutely. So it does not matter if the individual is old, young, or middle age, or whatever it is. If you give an individual power and there is nothing to check him with, he's going to abuse that power. Plus, I have other arguments to say every person, a group of people, if you have control of a thing or of a system, you are using it to benefit your interest. If I have a car, I'm using that car for my interest. I'm not using that car for the car's interest. It's going to serve my purpose. If I have control of a phone, I'm not using my phone to satisfy the phone. I'm using the phone to achieve my own interest. So you get. So the discussion, I'm going to be taking it together. Now we're still on the issue of laws, and now I am saying that let's look to laws. This is the will of the individual. There is 50%. The capacity of the law or system here is just about 25%. You cannot say or go and rely on the ability of the individual to 75% to come and make up for the 25% of the law. No, the equation will not balance. What you're going to have and what is going to work for us Africans, it is that the capacity of the system is also raised to 50%, and the will, political will, is also 50%. Most of the time, sometimes, even if the political will is not yet up to date, the system must be ready and capable to carry the political will. You understand? So we are still talking on laws. From laws, we'll talk about systems. From systems, we'll talk about how selfish the individual is. Like I already brushed on it a little bit. Then we'll go to how the individual is supposed to behave in a political system in order that the essence for which that system is crafted is achieved, which is to provide good life and common good for every person, including common man. All right, stay with me. You will understand what it means to unearth corruption. Then, if you want to go out, you will know what it is you have to be saying. I want to give you this foundation so that by the time we get to the demands of what needs to be done or the changes that need to be made in order for African countries to begin to experience advancement and development, you will understand why we're making such demands for such changes.